Kakadosh Boker Or Bekiim Halacha 5 day 67. This is going to be page 179. Halacha Yodalid. We are still in Siman Lamedalid, which has to do with Rabbeinu Tam. And the question that we're going to ask is when to switch to Tefilin of Rabbeinu Tam. So Halacha 14 comes and it says as follows: it is incorrect to switch from Tefilin of Rashi to Tefilin of Rabbeinu Tam while the Chazan is doing Chazarat HaShatz, which means a lot of people, they come and they start switching in the middle of Chazarat HaShatz. That is incorrect. We are supposed to give our full attention to the Chazarat HaShatz, right? And therefore, instead, he should wait until he's about to begin the Ashrei Uva Letzion. That's when they're supposed to come and start switching. So therefore, again, one more time, during Chazarat HaShatz, it is incorrect to switch from Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. This is page 179. Remember, this is also brought down not only here in the Yalkut Yosef, right, in English and Hebrew, but also this is brought down in the Mishnah Berurah and in other places as well. On Mondays and Thursdays, he can switch the sets of tefillin just before the Torah reading, which means right before Kriyat Torah. That's when they could switch it. If someone has finished saying the Amidah and he's sure that the Chazara will not begin for another few minutes, then he may do it. Meaning, if he's waiting, so then yeah, he could do it then. There's no problem. But if it's going to be that he finishes Amidah and they're going to start right away Chazarat HaShatz, he's not supposed to do it during Chazarat HaShatz. These rules are meant for someone who is pressed for time and must leave the Beit Knesset as soon as he completes Shachrit. For people who have time to remain in the Beit Knesset, it is highly recommended to continue wearing Rashi until after Aleinu Shabeach and then to switch to Rabbeinu Tam. Meaning, if you have 5 minutes after Shachrit, instead of just, that's when you should be putting on Rabbeinu Tam, switching to Rabbeinu Tam. Mm-hmm. It's only the person, mamash, right after Shachrit, he has to run out of the synagogue, then he's going to do it at this time. But again, not during Chazarat HaShatz. You will actually pay attention. Majority of people do it during Chazarat HaShatz. And again, this is against Halacha. Okay? Now he comes and he says, ideally, he says one should spend time studying Torah while wearing tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam, whether he's capable of devoting a few minutes of the studies. If he plans to spend a long period studying, a person connects with the 3 portions of his neshama each day only if he studies Torah while wearing tefillin. So that's why it's so important, the tefillin. Some people, they come and they say, Rabbi, you take too long in halachot. Well, because you even say one halacha. Right? Now what? It is so important. You want the real tikkun. The only tikkun could come out when you're learning Torah with your tefillin. I will repeat it. So that way people that they don't understand English, that they will understand. It says, Lo iske ha'adam liknot gimel chelke aneshama neran nefesh ruach neshama. A person will not acquire. He will not be zoche to acquire the 3 portions of Ela in ken yilmo betefillin, unless he's going to learn with his tefillin. Right, uvyoter, and even more so if he's going to learn with tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. So imagine a person is going to come and he say, no, but the ikar is that's it. We finish shachrit. We want to get out of here. No, you have to learn Torah. That's more important because that's when you're going to be zocheh. You just put on the tefillin so long, and now it's not even worth anything. Well, what does that help? So according to the Kabbalists, he receives enhanced portions of his soul if he studies while doing tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. That's according to the Kabbalah. Therefore, it's a wonderful idea to make a habit to study each day Chok L'Yisrael wearing tefillin Rabbeinu Tam, is explained above in Siman 25, 79 and 80. So again, why? Because you're learning with your tefillin. Or what we do, that we're learning with tefillin, we have the halachot. Okay, halachat tetvav, 15. Even if the other people in the synagogue where one is praying do not wear tefillin Rabbeinu Tam at all, it is permissible for someone who does wear them to switch the sets of tefillin before Ashrei Uva Letzion, or afterwards. He doesn't have to be concerned with lotit godedu. So this we already explained above, that we said that nowadays, since it became a custom that a lot of people wear Rabbeinu Tam, it's not anymore haughtiness if you're going to come and wear Rabbeinu Tam. So even if the majority of people in your Beit Knesset do not put it or switch it, you're allowed to do it. But we already explained you're not allowed to switch during. When are you not allowed to switch? Chazarat HaShatz. Right? Alachat Tetzain. Huh? The majority of people do it, but again, the Yalkut Yosef just said that it's wrong. The Mishnah Berurah brings it's wrong, and the majority of the Achronim, everyone says it's wrong, right? Because that's when you have to pay attention to, right? Think about it. You're doing something which is good according to the Kabbalah as well, because we said that according to Kabbalah, Rabbeinu Tam takes a lot of heavy weight, but according to the Kabbalah, you're not allowed to do anything during Chazarat HaShatz. You must have to, that's the highest level. So again, obviously, a person has to be careful what they're doing. On Rosh Chodesh, what do you do on Rosh Chodesh now? Why? Because on Rosh Chodesh, you take off your tefillin right after the Hallel, right? And then right after the Kaddish, right? And then what happens is basically before Musaf, and then now what do you do? So how do you do with Rabbeinu Tam? So he says on Rosh Chodesh, one should switch to tefillin Rabbeinu Tam before the Kriyat Torah, or just before Ashrei Uva Letzion. It is best to avoid to need to put them on again after Musaf, but if someone wasn't able to, then he could put them on after Musaf, which means again, After Musaf, you said the Keter. Once you said the Keter, you're not supposed to have Tefillin on for the Keter, right? Because the Keter of the Musaf is instead of the Keter, which is the Tefillin. So therefore, what happens is that once you've said the Keter, technically, lechatechila, you should not put on again Tefillin. So therefore, he comes and he says, if you don't have time, so fine, okay, what are you going to do? Your force majeure. But if a person can, he should always try to do it beforehand and not put on tefillin again. What about on Purim now? So he says those people who observe the practice of switching the tefillin Rabbeinu Tam every single day, right? By Sheuva Letzion, how do you do it now on Purim morning? Right, you're going to read where the Megillat Esther. Remember, you're going to read the Megillat Esther. And when do you read the Megillat Esther? Right before Uvaletzion. You said Asher Yoshev V'Techa. There's no Tachronim, so obviously you're not going to say Lam Netzeach. And then right before Uvaletzion, you're going to switch it. Right, you're going to say Megillat Esther. So he says there you should say as follows. You should do it and read Megillat Esther while wearing the Tefillin Rabbeinu Tam. And when you're going to say the word Vikar, each person should touch his tefillin and kiss the fingers. Because remember, the Vikar, right? When we come and we say La Yudim Hayita Ora V'Simcha V'Sason, Vikar. Yekar is a tefillin. The tefillin are Yekar, right? So very important. Okay? Halacha Yudchet, a mourner should wear both the tefillin and Rosh Hashanah and Rabbeinu Tam during the days of the Shiva. Likewise, he should wear both pairs on Tisha B'Av, like on every other day. Meaning, comes Tisha B'Av, right? For example, our minhag is only to put it on in the afternoon, right? There was a Ben Ish Chai to do it privately, but in the morning, but not in the minyan. There's the whole thing over there, right? So, okay, so he says over here, you're supposed to wear both as well. Right, you're also supposed to wear both. Now he comes and he says, right, so on Tisha B'Av during the afternoon, you're still going to wear both tefillin, and also during a person's shiva. Remember, the first day is doraita, so you don't wear tefillin the first day, right? Because it's pe'er tachat efer, right? Or efer tachat pe'er, it depends what it is. So therefore, when a person is doing shiva, the avelut, he doesn't wear the first day of avelut, but the rest of the days he does wear. So the rest of the days he's going to wear Rabbeinu Tam as well. Halacha Yutet, according. Halacha Yutet, right? Which set to wear while you're studying Torah? So he says like this. According to the poskim who do not take Kabbalah into account, if someone wishes to continue wearing tefillin throughout the day, he should wear the Rashi for the majority of the day and Rabbeinu Tam just for a short while. According to the Kabbalists, however, he should wear Rabbeinu Tam since it has a spiritual power to sharpen his thinking process. So that means mamash, it's like the more important. Okay, that's a big chidush. Yeah, that means according to Halacha and Kabbalah. According to Halacha, better Rashi. According to Kabbalah, better Rabbeinu Tam. Right, to wear learning for the rest of the day. Right, the last Halacha, Kaf. Right, confused, right, one set of tefillin with another. What happens? Some people they're always confused. But what happens, right? See, they're so confused they don't even not paying attention. So what happens is as follows. What happens right now if you're going to have a case, right, where they confuse them? They don't know which ones are she, which ones are Benutam. What are you going to do? Yeah. So the last halakha kaf comes and he says like this: if you, right, even though there are people that are always confused, so now we're going to speak about a person that confuses Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. So someone mistakenly wore tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam one day, thinking that they were Rashi, and therefore he failed to wear the tefillin of Rashi at all that day. Or if the scribe, which is the sofer who constructed the tefillin, mistakenly came and he put them together, right, in order to prescribe Rabbeinu Tam instead of the order of Rashi. And this was not discovered until after the person had been wearing them for a number of years. So imagine you're wearing tefillin for a number of years, and then all of a sudden they open up and they say, "By the way, you like your Rabbeinu Tam?" He said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Yeah, you've been wearing Rabbeinu Tam for the past I don't know how you never put on Rashi, right?" So he comes and he says, nevertheless, he is less guilty than someone who does not wear tefillin at all. He says, or someone who wears tefillin discovers later on that it's definitely not kosher. Since in this case, it is possible that he did fulfill the mitzvah of tefillin, right, at least according to Rabbeinu Tam. Therefore, once he expresses his sincere remorse and he gives tzedakah to atone for his sin, he's calling it, it's still an avidah. He will definitely be forgiven. For sure, he's going to be